Hello, everyone. Is it possible that Nintendo is putting a fast one on everyone and the new quote-unquote Switch isn't a Switch at all, but a powerful traditional console, and the current Switch lives on for all eternity as Nintendo's portable system? I'd say that's probably unlikely to be true, John.
I think that's unlikely to be true. I mean, the amount of success they found with the Switch concept is huge, but also more importantly, it allowed them to consolidate their development resources behind a single machine. And they're not going to give up the handheld space. That's where they found the most success, right? And this was a way
the
to
major
bridge
differentiating factor.
Yeah, exactly. It's also the major differentiating factor. They don't need to aim for the most powerful hardware when portable is a consideration. So, I wouldn't expect that.
I guess the alternative would be to do like a two SKU rollout, but then again, that also means that you are not you no longer producing a hybrid console, which is another key aspect of the Switch that people seem to really enjoy, regardless of the quality of the results.
Yeah, they're not going to move away from that. I think
Right.
It would be foolish if they did.
I do like the idea of Nintendo putting a fast one on everyone.
A fast
The entire time.
Sitting there going, fooled you.
I mean, if Yamauchi was still around, I could actually see that because he seems like the kind of guy that would get a kick out of pulling a fast one. But
pulling a fast one, I love it. Any thoughts on this, Alex?
No, I don't think it's possible.
Absolutely. I mean, they could absolutely produce two Switches or two new Nintendo devices similar to Series X and Series X, one of which is a portable device and another one which is a home console. But it just makes life incredibly difficult for and actually dilutes what made the original Switch such a success, I think.
Yeah, and I think they already suffered under the Wii U times due to like naming situation stuff. Like I think they just want to have one device, like because the Wii U, it's like, oh, maybe it doesn't have the mind space, but if you have two Switches, maybe the mind space isn't great for like the entire unit as itself. I think it's just one device. It's going to be one device forever from now on.
I mean, there are still question marks about the viability of that T239 for a handheld device, because apparently it's a Samsung 8nm chip. And even scaling down that much larger chip, it's still going to be quite large for a handheld. And you look at the Steam OLED and even the original Steam Deck, and that was a really sort of small, efficient chip designed for the mobile space. And I'm just curious how that's all going to roll out for the Switch 2 based on that processor that we now know so much about. But I do think it's got to be a hybrid machine. It just has to be.
Man, when you say T239, I just always think that it's a neural net processor, a learning computer.
I always do.
In a sense, it is. It has tensor cores.
Oh, there you go.
Never know.
But I have heard actually one thing which we can update on is the T239 video. There was the question mark over the cost of DLSS and whether Nintendo is going to include a deep learning accelerator similar to the one that was in the T234, which would effectively make DLSS quote unquote free, or at least a lot less computationally expensive. I've had sources come forward saying there's no deep learning accelerator in T239, which would limit the viability of DLSS quite significantly to what you saw in that video, which would be like 1080p upscaling, possibly 1440p if you're lucky, depending on the game. Right. But yeah, maybe that's wrong, but I don't think so. I guess we just have to wait and see.